Hello my dear friends and net aspirants, welcome back to High Point again. In this video we are going to learn about The Old Bachelor, a comedy of manners restoration comedy known as The Old Bachelor, which was staged in the year 1693. Before going into the video, if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, subscribe to it and also follow me on Instagram if you wanted to have more contents related to English language and literature which are relevant for your NTA UGC NET JRF English language and literature paper 2 preparation, and also visit my website. There too we are actually providing lots of online materials for your NTA UGC NET JRF English language and literature paper 2 preparation. If you are interested, let me know through this WhatsApp number. If you want to know anything further, also make use of this number to reach out to me. Okay, let's go straight into the introduction to The Old Bachelor. Old Bachelor is the first play written by English playwright William Congreve. See, William Congreve is more familiar for us as he has written the play Way of the World. We have learned, if you have completed your MA classes, you know that if you have finished the restoration period, you know that Way of the World is written by William Congreve, which is considered as the most representative play of the restoration age or restoration comedy. So William Congreve is so popular in that way, and The Old Bachelor is his first play and it was produced in 1693. Like I said, Henry Purcell set it to music. So the music was done by Henry Purcell, which is not a relevant point, but still I included. Originally staged by the United Company at the Theatre Royal. So it was originally for the first time it was staged by the United Company at the Theatre Royal, and it is set in London. Most of the comedy of manners are set in London, yeah. Let's have the list of the characters. I have included major and minor characters. You have to remember the plot, then only you can answer question asked from inside the play. Okay, for that you have to understand the character's name. You have to remember the character's name and the correct plot of the play. Okay, Hartwell. So let me reiterate this. Because in the previous videos also I have told this point, because in restoration comedies, by the name of the character itself we can see the characteristics of that character. See this character Hartwell. So from this name itself, more or less a type character. Hartwell, not fully a type character, but the name shows the characteristic of that character. Okay, Hartwell means must be a good character. An old bachelor secretly in love with Sylvia, Belmore in love with Belinda, Wainlove in love with Araminta, Sharper, Sir John Joseph Whittle, Captain Bluff, Fauntleroy. See this character Fauntleroy, he is a banker. Then Setter, see his profession is he works as a pimp, so his name actually suits him. Then Araminta in love with Wainlove. See, Araminta is in love with Wainlove, and Belinda, her cousin, in love with Belmore. Then Laetita, wife of Fauntleroy. See, Fauntleroy's wife is Laetita. Then see, Sylvia is Wainlove's forsaken mistress. Then Lucy is Sylvia's maid, and Betty is another character we can find in this play. See, I'm not going to give a detailed characteristics of these characters. As you go through the plot, you will understand what is their role and how they are related to each other and all. Let's not waste much time in that. Moving on about the summary. Let's have the summary. Sir Joseph Whittle, a foolish young country knight, returns to the spot in London where he had been attacked by footpads the night before, a fracas from which the gallant Ned Belmore had rescued him. So what happened? Basically, Sir Joseph Whittle, he's just a foolish young country knight, because he will believe anything that someone is saying, he will believe, and he is just a foolish young country knight who has no knowledge about the way of the world, way of the urban places, okay, urban area. And he got attacked by some food pads. Some people attacked him, and actually Ned Belmore, he's the one who rescued Joseph Whittle from that attack. Belmore had told his friend Sharper of the incident. So what happens? Belmore, after that, he told about this rescuing and all to his friend Sharper, whereupon Sharper, encountering Whittle, pretends to be the man who had rescued him. So what happens when Sharper met with Whittle, Joseph Whittle, in another situation? He told that Sharper told that, see, he's the one who rescued Whittle when he was attacked by footpads in the night before. Then, having ingratiated himself with his false story, Sharper declares that he lost 100 pounds in the scuffle, and Whittle promises to make good the loss. So what happens? As he told that he is the one, Sharper told that he is the one who rescued Sir Joseph Whittle. He also made up the story that while he was rescuing him, he lost 100 pounds in that scuffle, and Whittle, after hearing this, he promises that he will give that money to him. Whittle and Sharper are joined by Captain Bluff, a spurious veteran of campaign in the Low Countries and Whittle's mentor in the ways of the city. So Whittle, he had very less experience in the urban ways, okay, in the ways of the city. He has no idea, okay, because he is just a country young knight, a foolish young country knight. So Captain Bluffy joins them, whom Whittle and Sharp, as they were talking, and he is a spurious veteran of campaigns in the Low Countries, and he is more or less like a mentor to Whittle. And Bluff's boasting and swaggering ways deeply impressed the foolish young Whittle. So actually, Captain Bluff just, swagger and boast about the things that he has done. Actually, he has done nothing like that, but he, in order to impress Whittle, he just says this kind of boasting. It's his character. He boasts about things, but when the situation demands, he does nothing. Okay, that we will see later in this play. And Bluff says all these boasted things and all, and Whittle got impressed by this because he is too credible. In her apartment, Araminta is reproved by her cousin Belinda for being devoted to love. So Araminta, she is in love with love with Vain Love, and her cousin Belinda is also there with her. And Belinda, she makes fun, and he reproves Araminta for being in love, for being more devoted to love and all. Then a footman comes and announces that Vainlove and Belmore have arrived to pay their respect to Araminta. So Vainlove is there along with Belmore. His friend Belmore is there to pay respect to Araminta. And Belinda, who is charmed by Belmore, declares that she will remain to keep Araminta company even though she had been prepared to go out. So Belinda, as Vainlove was arriving, Belinda was so disgusted by this. She was about to go out, but when she saw Belmore, she got charmed. She actually immediately fell in love with Belmore, kind of like that. And she declared that Belinda declared that she will remain with Araminta to give company to Araminta, even though she was preparing to go out. The young men having been admitted, Belmore and Belinda exchanges amiable insults. Gavotte, Araminta's singing master, entertains the group with a song. So these people, they were engaging and they were having fun, and Belmore and Belinda, they were exchanging amiable, lovable kind of insults, not serious kind of, but amiable kind of insults. They were teasing each other, they were having good times. So these young men, these people, they were entertained by the singing master Gavotte. And Sylvia, a prostitute and Vainlove's discarded mistress, pines for him. So what happens? Sylvia is there. Sylvia is a prostitute, and she was a forsaken love of Vainlove. So Sylvia and Vainlove, they were not in a relationship, but before that they were in relationship. So Sylvia is there, and Sylvia is pinning for Vainlove, but Vainlove is in with Araminta. Araminta is his newfound love. Lucy, her maid, suggests that they write a letter filled with the foolish possessions of love, sign Araminta's name to it, and send it to Vainlove. So Vainlove is of the character that if a woman shows too much love, too much love expresses too much love towards him, he will immediately feel disinterested in that woman. So Lucy knows this. Sylvia and Lucy, both of them know about it, and Lucy suggests Sylvia that in order to get back Vain love, you can write a letter in the name of Araminta filled with full of foolish protestations of her love towards him, and she can send that forged letter to Vain love. This deception, they are sure, will cool Vain love's order to Araminta, because as Araminta shows more foolish protestations of love through that letter to Vain love, then immediately he will lose his interest in Araminta and he can return to Sylvia immediately. That was their plan. Meanwhile, Hartwell, a professed woman hater and a surly old bachelor, is against his will in front of Sylvia's door. Belmore and Vainlow see him enter. So what happens? Hartwell is there. Hartwell, he is a popular woman hater who is a bachelor and who is famously known as a woman hater, and against to this popular image of Hartwell, Belmore and Vainlow saw that Hartwell is there in the doorstep of Sylvia, and they saw that Hartwell is entering into Sylvia's house where Sylvia is residing. The masked Lucy encounters Setter, Vainlow's man. So meanwhile, Sylvia's maid Lucy meets with Vainlow's man Setter. Setter is a pimp, and when Setter uses abusive language in speaking to her, she unmasks and demands reparations from her old acquaintance in the form of information about the affair between Vainlow and Araminta. So what happens? Setter, as Lucy is with a mask, Setter didn't understood that this is Lucy, so he spoke with abusive language to her. So when she unmasked, she wanted reparation because Setter talked to her in an abusive language. As a return, she wanted some latest information about the affair going on between Vainlow and Araminta. At the same time, Whittle gives Sharper a note of credit for £100 to be collected from Fauntlewife, a banker. So Fauntlewife is a banker, so Whittle promised that he will give the £100 money that Sharper claims that he lost while he was rescuing Whittle in the other night. So that Whittle gives Sharper a note of credit that he can credit from the banker Fauntlewife. Bluff rebuks Whittle for his misdirected generosity. So after seeing this, Bluff actually rebukes Whittle, why you are so generous to this kind of people. There is no need that maybe that person is not telling the truth. When Sharper appears with the cash and thanks Whittle, Bluff intimates to Whittle that Sharper is a trickster. So Sharper went to Fauntlewife and he collected the money and he returned to Whittle to say thank you to him. And after seeing this, Bluff said to Whittle that maybe Sharper is popular trickster, so maybe he just tricked you. Sharper rejoins by suggesting that Bluff is a fraud. Bluff says that Sharper is just a trickster. Sharper in turn says to Whittle that Bluff is a fraud. When he strikes Bluff, the braggart is afraid to retaliate, and Sharper thereupon soundly trounces him and departs. So what happens? Sharper, after hearing this, when Bluff says that he is a trickster, Sharper strikes Bluff. So Bluff always brags and boasts about the great bravery that he showed in the past, but when he got a strike from Sharper, he could not retaliate. He cannot give it back to him, and he departs. Only then, after when Sharper departed from that scene, Bluff draws his sword and ran brave words, but he actually, when the situation demanded, he did nothing to retaliate the blow. Now, at Sylvia's house, Hartwell entertains the prostitute with the hired singers and dancers. So Hartwell, he had a secret desire to Sylvia, so that's why he was there. and the prostitute got entertained by Hartwell with hired singers and dancers. When he professes his love for her, she puts him off coyly, asserting that she must be married to a man before he can enjoy her favors. So what happens? Hartwell, he professes his love towards her, and she shows a fake coyness, and she said that she only who marries her can enjoy her favors. Overcome by passion and by Sylvia's wiles, he at last agrees to marry her. So Hartwell was so overcome by love for Sylvia. So passion for Sylvia, at last Hartwell agreed to marry her. Saying he will return in the evening, he leaves to procure a marriage license. So he said that he will return in the evening after procuring a marriage license in order to get married with her. Fondle wife, the banker, arranges to have a Puritan minister visit his young wife Laetitia while he is away on business. So Fondle wife, he's an insecure husband, like his name shows, and he arranges a Puritan minister. Why Puritan minister? Because Puritan people, they are quite away from all this. They believe that fakeness and extramarital affairs are they are sins. So he arranges a Puritan minister to visit his young wife while he is away from home on a business. At the last minute, however, he grows weary and decides not to leave the city. So even though he set out from the house to some place for his business things, but he became so weary, he became tired, and he decided to leave the city. He decided to come back to the home. Vain Love, who had been invited to visit Laetitia during the absence of her ancient doting husband, sends Belmore in his place. So what happens? Vain Love and Laetitia, they got attracted to each other, and Laetitia even invited Vain Love to her house when her husband was absent. So Vain Love, instead of going by himself, he sends Belmore in his place. Vain Love receives the letter to which Sylvia had signed Araminta's name. So like Lucy and Sylvia decided, they wrote a letter signed by Araminta's name. So this letter was received by Vain Love. Now what happens? Disappointed to find the lady so eager, Vain Love announces that his interest in Araminta was waned. So he saw that foolish, extravagant expressions of love is there in the letter, that immediately waned, that immediately decreased his interest, Vain Love's interest to Araminta. So he announced that he lost every other interest in Araminta. Then Belmore, disguised as the Puritan minister, visits Laetitia and in private reveals his true identity. So what happens? Belmore, instead of Vain Love, visit Laetitia in the disguise of a Puritan minister. And when Laetitia and Belmore, they were in a private space, Belmore reveals his true identity. He explains that he had indiscreetly opened her letter to Vain Love, and the intrigue appealing to him came to Vain Love's stead. Then Laetitia, charmed by Belmore's gallantry, entertains him in her bedroom. So what happens here? Belmore explains to Laetitia that Laetitia sent a letter to Vain Love to come and visit her. But Belmore was the one who opened the letter, and this got appealed to him. So that's why Belmore came instead of Vain Love to Laetitia's house, and after hearing this, Laetitia got charmed by Belmore's gallantry, Belmore's beauty and handsomeness, and she entertained him in her private bedroom. Vain Love meets Araminta in St. James Park and treats her coolly. So after reading the letter, which was actually sent by Lucy and Sylvia, Vain Love thought that it was sent by Araminta. When he met with Araminta in St. James Park, he treated Araminta in a cool manner, without any passion at all. Araminta fails to understand when he tosses the letter at her feet and stalks away. So Araminta, she was in shock, and she was unaware what happened to Vain Love. So Araminta fails to understand what was happening when he just tossed the letter at her feet, which was actually which was a forged letter by Lucy and Sylvia, and he just walked away. A few minutes later, Vitol encounters Araminta for the first time and falls in love with her. So what happens? Joseph Vitol, he encounters Araminta there in that park, and he immediately fell in love with Araminta. Now what happens? Fondle's wife, accompanied by Vitol, who had come to get money from the banker, returns home prematurely, and Belmore hides in the bedroom. So what happens? Fondle's wife and Vitol, both of them comes to banker's Fondle's wife's home because Vitol wanted some money, and Belmore, after seeing that Fondle's wife is coming back, Belmore hides in the bedroom, and Fondle's wife goes to get cash for Vitol. So what happens? Fondle's wife again goes to get cash for Vitol. On his return, a frantic Laetitia accuses Vitol of having attempted to rape her. Vitol is there waiting for the money, so Fondle's wife went to collect cash for Vitol, and Laetitia is there. So Laetitia falsely accuses that Vitol tried to rape her, and Vitol is asked to leave the house. So Fondle's wife is an insecure man, so he never understood that Vitol is just an innocent country knight. He cannot do that. So Vitol was asked to leave the house by Fondle's wife. And Laetitia and Belmore cleverly succeed in keeping Belmore's identity from Fondle's wife until the cuckolded old gentleman discovers the Scarron novel in the parlor that Belmore, in his disguise, had carried as a prayer book. Until this time, Laetitia and Belmore, they cleverly succeeded in keeping Belmore's identity as a Puritan minister. This Fondle's wife, this person never understood that he was cuckolded by Laetitia and Belmore. But he saw that in the parlor, he saw a novel, a novel book. And he immediately recognized that this was carried by whom? Belmore, as a prayer book. When he entered, and Belmore confesses to evil intentions, but declares that Fondle's wife has returned too soon for the couple to have sinned. So he understood that Fondle's wife understood that Belmore and Laetitia, these people were doing something very intimate in the bedroom. So he said that, Belmore confessed, and he said that, nothing really happened between them because Fondle's wife returned too soon that they cannot enter into something very serious, very sinful. When Laetitia weeps and declares their innocence, Fondle's wife reluctantly accepts Belmore's story. So Laetitia began to weep and declared their innocence, that they never did anything sinful because Fondle's wife returned too soon. And when Fondle's wife saw that Laetitia is weeping and Belmore is declaring the story, so he reluctantly believed the story, or accepted Belmore's story. Belmore, still in disguise, passes Sylvia's apartment. So what happens? He is in still the disguise of Puritan minister, and he passes Sylvia's apartment. Lucy, believing him a person who will marry her mistress and Hartwell, stops Belmore. So Lucy took Belmore as a parson, and Hartwell also saw Belmore as a Puritan minister who can solemnize their wedding. So he was stopped both by Lucy and Hartwell. Belmore reveals his true identity to Lucy and tells her that he will provide both her and Sylvia with proper husbands if she will agree to no more than a mock marriage of Hartwell and Sylvia. Actually Belmore wanted to make fun of Hartwell. So he revealed his true identity to Lucy by saying that if you remain with his plan, if Lucy and Sylvia remain with their plan, or Belmore's plan, they will be provided with proper husbands. Okay, this is going to be just a mock marriage of Hartwell and Sylvia. Belmore, he's a practical joker that he wanted to see Hartwell marry a prostitute, and he wanted to have the fun of this situation. he performs the service. So in the disguise of Puritan minister, he performs the service. Then during Hartwell's momentary absence, he tells Sylvia of the trick he has played. So Sylvia also believed that this is a true wedding and all. So when Hartwell was momentarily absent from that situation, Belmore also revealed to Sylvia that it was just a trick played by him. Vainlow, meanwhile, learns from Setter that the letter signed by Araminta is probably Lucy's work, since Lucy had made inquiries about the relationship between Araminta and Vainlow. So, Vainlow must have told the situation that he lost his interest in Araminta after reading the letter by her. This was revealed to Setter. So, Setter said that probably that letter was written by Lucy. Probably that letter must be a forged letter, because Lucy made some inquiries before about the relationship between Araminta and Vainlow. So there is a possibility that Lucy wrote that letter. At the same time, Sharper and Setter fool Whittle into thinking that Araminta has conceived a passion for him. So Whittle, he fell in love with Araminta by seeing her in that park. At the same time, Sharper and Setter, they also wanted to make fool out of Whittle. So both of them made Whittle believe that Araminta is also in turn developed a passion for Whittle. Now, Whittle gives Setter gold to bring Araminta to him. Bluff privately pays Setter a counter bribe to convey Araminta to him. So what happens? Whittle, he believed what Setter and Sharper they were saying. So Setter was given gold by Whittle in order to bring Araminta to him, and Bluff privately also pays Setter to convey Araminta to him. And Sharper, pretending no knowledge of Hartwell's marriage to Sylvia, asks Hartwell to join him in a visit to the prostitute. So what happens? Sharper, he knows what happened between Hartwell and Sylvia. Hartwell, he pretended that nothing, pretended that he had no knowledge of Hartwell's marriage to Sylvia. So he asked Hartwell to join him in a visit to his prostitute. Hartwell, in a predicament, tells of his marriage and warns Sharper not to go near Sylvia's house. So Hartwell, as Sharper wanted to go to prostitute, Hartwell revealed that he is now married to Sylvia, and he warned Sharper not to go near Sylvia. She is no more a prostitute. And Vainlow and Belmore bring Araminta and Belinda both masked to Sylvia's house. What happens? Vainlow and Belmore, both of them brought Araminta and Belinda masked to Sylvia's house. Setter has taken Lucy and Sylvia both also masked to meet Whittle and Bluff. So Setter also brought Lucy and Sylvia also masked to meet Whittle and Bluff. Finding Hartwell alone, Vainlow, Belmore and the young ladies tease him unmercifully about his marriage. So what happens? Finally, everyone revealed to Hartwell that, see, the marriage happened between Hartwell and Sylvia. It was a fake marriage. It was performed by a disguising person who Belmore performed it. So it is a fake marriage. So Hartwell got unmercifully teased by these people. Now, Setter returns with Whittle, Sylvia, Bluff and Lucy. So Setter, Sylvia, Bluff, Lucy, Whittle, all of them left to the scene. Then when the ladies all unmask, the foolish knight and his roaring companion admit indulgently that they have been hook-winged. Then Hartwell, learning of the mock marriage, thanks Belmore for his salvation. So Hartwell was not sad actually for not getting married to Sylvia. Hartwell, he thanked Belmore for his salvation. He hopes that he were to marry, it would be to an old crone. Then Vainlow, Araminta and Belmore and Belinda plan their wedding for the next day. So what happens? These two couple, they decided to get married in the next day. So that was the story. The story as such, it was not a too wonderful story, but we can see intrigues, extramarital affairs, extra relationships are there. So many other features that we have seen about the restoration comedy. In the introductory video, I have given the features of restoration comedy, or comedy of manners. We can see some of them in the play here, present in here. Now let's see themes. There are lots of themes. Actually, I have just mentioned 3 of them. Animal imagery. So mainly in this play we can see the characters are referred to some animals. See, for example, Vainlove is referred to as an ass, Belmore as an ape, and a wolf in sheep's clothing. Both of them are referred as Belmore. Then Hartwell referred as an old fox, Sir John a lion, woman as hares to be hunted, or partridges to be covered. Then cuckolded men are like stags with horns. So these kind of animal imageries are used in order to refer to major characters. Then another second theme is misandry. Misandry means, women characters are portrayed, or women characters are described as things. Something need to be consumed. So Sharper describes Araminda as a delicious melon, pure and consenting, ripe, and only waits thy cutting up. So in this way, women characters are described. Third one is the exhausted libertine. That is, the play starts with the leading male character sounding exhausted. See, every other male characters, they have nothing to do in their life. They don't have anything to do relevant to do in their life. Okay, so the male characters, they are exhausted. The play starts with the leading male character sounding exhausted, as they just want some entertainment in their life. They don't have anything relevant to do in their life. They just wanted to kill time. That's why they are creating some funny moments. They wanted to conduct some practical jokes, make fool out of people. They engage in extramarital affairs. They engage in intrigues and all. Okay, so these are some themes that maybe you won't see directly in this play that I have mentioned in here. So that's all about the Old Bachelor. This was not that important play by Congreve. We will see Way of the World later in the upcoming videos. If you have any doubts, queries, questions, or any add-on points related to the play, then you can mention that, all of that, in the comment section, or you can use this WhatsApp number or Instagram ID to reach out me if you wanted to get clarification. And also don't forget to visit my website www.highpoint.in. If you have any doubts, please reach out to me. Okay, do not hesitate to do that. Okay, meet you in the next video session. Until then, stay tuned to High Point and be happy, guys. Tata, bye bye.